Hey, good morning. No, I'm not. I'm not in my office. No. I'm in my car. I'm in my car because I got a really busy day today. So I'm sitting outside of No Holds Fitness. I don't know if you can see it back there. There's the little door, maybe. There it is. Anyway, I'm sitting outside of No Holds. Trained legs this morning. So good. Good day. Trained legs, and then I had a couple clients, and now in between. I'm leaving here, and I'm heading straight to a meeting with our assistant superintendent, Carl Radcliffe. Good guy, if you ever get to meet him, for my annual pastoral evaluation. Yes, we do get evaluated. Yes, we are answerable to multiple people up the chain of command. So I'll be heading to that. Don't know how long that's going to last. That was a truck, not me, I promise. I don't know if you heard that or not. But anyway, so quick minute. I'm going to have to make this brief, but I didn't want to miss our weekly Going Deeper live stream. So yesterday, the message was called Great Expectations. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, I'd really recommend it. It was, I think, a very important message. The idea is sometimes bad theology can create in us unbiblical expectations of what it means to follow Jesus. And when those expectations aren't met, it can do a lot of damage. But good theology gives us the right expectations of what it means to follow Jesus. And so we're not disillusioned or disappointed when things we weren't necessarily promised don't come to pass. We looked at a couple verses out of Philippians chapter 3, where Paul says, I want to know Christ. I want to know him. I want to know the power of his resurrection, and I want to know the fellowship of sharing in his sufferings, becoming like him, and through that attaining to the resurrection from the dead, right? So if you're in a life group, that's what you're going to be digging deeper into this week. That passage and that whole idea of expecting to know Christ, expecting to know the power of his resurrection in your life now that you're living, like not just when we get to heaven, but now, and also expecting to experience the fellowship of sharing in his suffering and being transformed through that. Today, just real briefly, I want to pinpoint a verse that I referenced during the message. It's in John chapter 16, verse 33, I think it is. And the backdrop is Jesus is talking to his disciples. He knows that this is their last meal together before he's going to go to the cross. That hasn't sunk in with them yet, but he knows that. And he's sort of having his last intimate conversation with his disciples. And in John 16:33, he says that verse that I mentioned yesterday. He says, in this world you will have trouble. The interesting thing is that right before that verse, he tells them pretty point blank, pretty bluntly, he says, we're just about coming to the time where you all are going to be scattered. You're all going to run off to your own houses, and you're going to leave me all alone. That's what he says. And then he says, I tell you this so you will have peace. That's so weird. Jesus flips stuff so much. He says, you're going to be scattered. You're going to run to your own homes. You're going to abandon me. And I'm telling you this so you'll have peace. And then he says, in this world you will have trouble. But where's the peace come in? This next part. And then he ends by saying, but I have overcome the world. But take heart, I have overcome the world. So he says, you're going to leave me. You're going to scatter. You're going to abandon me. But I'm telling you this so you'll have peace. In this world, you're going to have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world, right? So, hey, Rhonda, just give me a minute. I'm building something here. So there's so much to unpack in that, right? But the thing that really grabbed a hold of me this morning, at least, is that he says this after he says, you're going to abandon me, you're going to leave me, you're going to run away. But I'm telling you this so you'll be at peace. Jesus is saying so much in that. And part of what he's saying, I think, is that he is absolutely enough for everything, right? Yesterday, the context was, yeah, we're going to have trouble in this world. Things are not always going to go right, but Jesus is enough for that, right? He's enough to carry us through the hard times. He's enough to strengthen us when we're weak. He's enough to give us peace in the middle of the storm. He's enough to sustain us when our expectations aren't met. Just he's enough, right? Yeah, we're going to have trouble. Bad stuff's going to happen, but take heart. He's overcome the world. But we also have to look at that part where he tells his disciples, okay, you guys are going to scatter. You're not going to have what it takes to stay with me. But I'm telling you this so that you'll have peace. I think the other side of that is that Jesus is enough, not just, for the bad things that happen to us, but take heart in this. I'm telling you this so that you'll have peace. Jesus is enough for our failures too, and our shortcomings too. He's enough when we stumble. He's enough when we sin. He's enough when we fall short. He's enough when we miss the mark. He's enough after we've lost our temper. He's enough when we blew the opportunity. He's enough when we just totally dropped the ball and did the wrong thing. He's enough then too, right? He's enough then too. He's not just enough for when bad stuff happens on the outside of us. He's also enough when bad stuff comes from the inside of us. Take heart. I'm telling you this so that you will have peace. I've overcome the world. You're going to falter. You're going to fail. You're going to stumble. You're going to drop the ball. You're going to mess it up. Jesus is still enough. So here's my encouragement to you, and I'd love to hear your comments at the bottom, but I got to wrap it up because I got a meeting to get to. My encouragement to you is this, is that when you do stumble, and it's going to happen, don't give in to the temptation to run from God, to feel like, hey, I've blown it. Now I can't come to him. I got to go. I got to hide. Don't do what Adam and Eve did. Jesus is saying, look, I know you're going to drop the ball, but take heart. I've overcome the world. The promise is when we do sin, 1 John 1:9, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sin and cleanse us from all unrighteousness if we'll confess it. So my encouragement to you is, when you drop the ball, when you miss the mark, when you sin, when you fall short, don't run from Jesus in shame. Run to him in faith and in hope that he's already overcome the world, that he's enough, and he's enough to take care of that too. All right? So, love you guys. Have a wonderful week, wonderful day. I want to hear read your comments below, and pray for me at this meeting coming up. All right, I'll see you when I see you. Have a great, great, great week. Bye-bye.